On your today's special, don't hang up. This is a flash sale. I mean, it really is. It's actually better than a flash sale because it's only as long as supplies last. We have a little over 3,000 to go around. It's 60% off. And let me put it to you this way. Not only is this the only blender that we sell here at HSN for less than $100 that will do soup, right? We had to get soup. I know that because every other blender we sell here at HSN that does soup starts at $150 to $250. We have your colors. We have a patent pending design. Our Chef Ming Blue, the classic black, the white, the red, recipe card, the tamper, the whole 9 yards included. Tritan BPA-free plastic that, honest to goodness, I mean, you could practically, you know, drive a truck over that thing.
Drop this, it won't break.
It would, but we cannot break Tracy no matter how hard we try. We're gonna challenge her and throw down the gauntlet. Soup, Tracy, we double dog dare you.
We've got soup ready for your family from up north. And here we go. We're gonna turn this on. And I've got some creamy tomato basil, and I'm gonna crank it all the way on high.
Now, one quick caveat, and I always say this when we have a professional grade blender chef, is you will hear the noise, but if you don't hear that power, you don't have the power to do soup or almond butters or, you know, crush ice.
Tracy will have hot soup within minutes. It's unbelievable. But
really
can we just talk about the design of this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of thought went into this, right? You talked about this almost completely unbreakable jar. But you can see that there's ridges in this that actually brings the water or brings your liquid. So just look at this vortex that's created. So you create this tornado vortex, and the reason that vortex is created is you have these sides that come up, and in your hand you have this. This is a 7-point star that not only completely pulverizes whatever, but these two little points here help keep it going in this great circle. So you actually don't even have to like lift it up and scrape it.
You can see
it brings
that
it on top of itself. So it's an awesome
you know the
blender.
other thing, and you're actually looking at the videotape. I was looking at this earlier, and I'm not a blender connoisseur, but you know, I've burned out a few blenders in my day.
Right.
And not only does this have the torque, you get that patent pending blade design that creates that vortex. This also has, it's a little hard to see on camera, and I hope you can see it on the videotape. These are SmartCorners, and I don't know if you can see how this is engineered, but we've all had a blender, right, where you have to get down with the spoon, down with the spatula. This is almost sloped, so it's good to every last drop. The other thing about this, if you have seen other blenders that talk about their horsepower, do you know this is almost 2 horsepower? It's 1.7 horsepower, 1,300 watts, but they don't have, you do not have a bunch of plastic gears. So you're looking at metal, and that's what you want. You don't want anything that's gonna melt or grind or, you know, fall apart. Now, again, we mentioned that you can hear the power, and that's a good thing. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't hear the power, you're not getting something that is powerful enough to do soup or almond butters or your own rice flour or your own baby food. This is that professional
we just made this pesto, right? I mean, literally, just show you how great this came together, right? I mean, that was so easy. I'll go all the way up and just turn this off. And now here's a pesto that you would put, you know, as a dip for your crudité. But look at that great color. That is pine nuts, garlic, and basil, a little bit of cheese. And then, of course, your pasta. And you can just drizzle. You can throw shrimp or chicken on this. Of course, you can eat it hot or cold. But the fact that it's so quick and easy to do.
By the way, as Chef demonstrates the pesto, it reminds me that BPA is not only stronger and more durable, it doesn't stain, it doesn't warp, it doesn't oxidize. So if you could do a tomato soup in it one day, and you could do a pesto in it the other day, and it doesn't oxidize. The other thing, Tracy, can we talk a little bit about what you're doing? Because this is one of my favorite demos that we're doing tonight.
Absolutely amazing. And all I did was take some almonds, some whole almonds, and I toasted them lightly in a pan because I like that flavor. But then you just put them in here dry. A lot of times you get any kind of nut butters, like even your homemade peanut butters, people put honey in, or they try and start it with a little oil, and it's a little bit of a cheat.
It is.
Because then you're adding adding stuff to it. You just want just the nuts. So this is just almonds that were dry that went in here. Typically, you'd have to do it in a food processor for 10 minutes. Yep. 3 minutes, and I have the most beautiful. You have to taste this. Well, it is amazing.
It is unbelievable. I mean, this is real almond butter that you can toast yourself. I mean, look how nice and ooey and creamy
I have to say,
this almond butter is.
If you have priced blenders that are doing what this blender does, you know if they're on sale, they're $1.99. You know what I mean? This is 60% off. If you have someone who is diabetic or gluten sensitive, maybe they're trying to do paleo, maybe they're trying to do, you know, any of those great, you know, warrior diets. I mean, or just trying to eat healthier. And we all know that fresh is best. If this only did smoothies, if this only did protein shakes, if it only did soup, it would pay for itself. Tritan is always more expensive, and I love how you've overfilled this, too, with nature's bounty.
So this is like a gazpacho, and we'll just turn this on, and we'll let it go. I mean, this is here on the high, and I'll go all the way high. And you're done. That is a gazpacho, and why not serve a gazpacho in a nice tall glass? There's no reason you need to serve gazpacho in a bowl.
Hey, one other thing I want to mention, Chef, you also did your smart control panel that you're kind of known for, where it's not a lot of crazy buttons or wheels or levers or
Well,
gizmos.
you know my theory. My theory is you should never have to use an instruction book to operate a kitchen appliance.
No, you're right.
So we have the most simple possible functions. We have on-off, which is here, right? We have speed control, which is here, right?
Right.
And obviously plus goes up, negative goes down. You can pulse it, right? And you can pulse it, boom, boom, and you have the ice function. So that's it. Nice. It's so simple.
Easy.
And by the way, when you first turn it on, it doesn't shoot up all the way because it's nice and low. But when you go all the way, I mean, it goes, right? And I don't mind that it's noisy because there's so much horsepower here, it can get through anything.
And hey, one other thing, and it's a little thing, but to me it's not. I love the curves, no corners. Those other ones, they're kind of clunky. You know what I mean? The ones that you see in the professional bar and the professional kitchen. Is that Green Goddess dressing?
That is.
It's ranch. It's homemade ranch.
It is?
And you have to taste, I mean, take one of the celery sticks and dip it in there because just making it by yourself fresh is all the difference in the world. And it takes 2 seconds. Buttermilk, sour cream, and some parsley and garlic.
Oh,
that's
kidding me. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Matt, I got to dip my celery stick first. You know.
And then Sharon, you come over, we're going to get you in the holiday spirit over here. Because obviously we did all the soups and pestos and purees and ranch dressings, but you can also make the most delicious cocktails.
You know that's the only thing you would have had to say. Get away from the dip, back away from the dip, get a cocktail.
But here's a peppermint schnapps cocktail.
Oh,
I mean, Eric put this in. Is there not a cuter Christmas holiday cocktail than this? I mean, look at that.
That's beautiful.
It's unbelievable. And he's got, what are you making over there, Eric?
Margarita.
And margaritas, because you can.
Tracy, you're on your own.
5 o'clock somewhere.
I like this side of the table. This is definitely the side of the table to be on. All right, when we talk about that Tritan, the BPA reservoir, if you will, the big thing is, first of all, you can't say something is Tritan unless it's Tritan. You know, that's number one. But number two, it is more expensive to put in kitchen appliances for a number of different reasons. It's virtually indestructible. I mean, if you started there,
it is.
right?
I mean, you literally, this is a pretty good baseball player whacking the living daylights out of the blender cup. I mean, I guarantee you any other blender cup in the world would be destroyed.
Shattered.
This isn't even cracked.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It is. And the other thing is, it you know, really resists staining and oxidize, you know, that kind of, you know, if you do tomato soup.
I use mine every morning.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, every morning to make this shake that has like 19 green things and fish oils and stuff. Yeah. But you know what? It works. And it's so easy. And it's also easy to clean. Yeah. Right? Which I love because, again, nothing is sticking to this. And just a little hot water, and I actually put it back on and zoom, zoom, zoom. Right. And it's clean.
Absolutely. And you know, Eric, what are you doing down there now?
Oh, Eric's making some red.
Orders I need to keep up with.
You're like a mixologist down there.
Man, that's some scary dream.
This is me at my house. Now this can be you at your house.
Cover on, Eric. Don't turn it on without that cover.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, the other thing that's so great about this, beyond the price savings, you know, this is almost $200 off. So it's almost $200 off your purchase. Over 60% off. And, you know, from protein shakes to soups to smoothies to gazpachos to baby food to almond butters, you know very well, if you have somebody who's gluten intolerant or sensitive in your family, first of all, it's very hard in somebody's diet, you know, and expensive to get the rice flours or to make anything that's completely gluten-free. And this is really going to be a godsend. Now, what is that?
That's just a delicious Dijon vinaigrette to have on the side. I bet you your soup's close.
I know. I was getting ready to check. This is a strawberry shake to go with your
Strawberry
chocolate
shake. Okay, fantastic. So you can make cocktails without booze too. So check out this strawberry shake.
Did you see how smooth that is?
Yeah, right.
I mean, really, everything is beautifully pureed. You don't see any chunks of things.
Oh, no,
or,
never.
You know?
I mean, it's so smooth. And I love the easy pouring spout as well.
Good. That's
right?
really good.
I mean, what we do at our house is when fruit is ripe, buy it ripe.
Yeah.
Don't buy fruit when it's not ripe, and buy extra fruit because when it's ripe, freeze it.
Oh, yeah.
And now you can put them in your blender and you never have to add ice to it.
Yeah, it's
so
smart.
if you don't want to do ice cream, get frozen berries. So, all right, Tracy, how's your soup coming over there?
Check this
Absolutely piping hot. This is my, look at that. Isn't that
Piping
amazing?
hot.
I didn't do anything. You saw me put the lid on, push a button, walk away, and I come back to this beautiful hot soup in under 10 minutes.
Whoa.
And look at the color. That's because those nutrients of those vegetables are still in there. We haven't cooked them off because they haven't been brought to a full boil. It's just that perfect temperature where it's nice and steamy hot. And then I want you to see my cream of spinach soup, which is my personal favorite.
Okay, now Tracy, I'm gonna stop you right there. Anyone who's ordered like cream of spinach, the color is because that is God's, you know, coloring book. That's not diluted or created with a dye, or that's like I say, God's coloring book.
I mean, chlorophyll is that color.
Right, that is
and
that color.
because Tracy didn't quote unquote cook it, but based on the centrifugal force of the blade, heating it up to steaming, I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't believe how green that is, Tracy.
Okay, is this not the most beautiful thing?
I mean, that really looks
That's
like you cheated there. But I saw what was in there. That was just spinach.
Wow.
Isn't that delicious?
Oh, wow.
It's even got, like, I put some whole chunks of Parmesan cheese in there.
Is that
so
what that is?
Yeah, it adds, absolutely. It pulverizes it and then heats it up to that perfect temperature as it's bringing it all together.
Well, okay. If it's good enough for Joy Mangano, it's good enough for you.
Did she really?
She really did. Joy just got through these, you know, and Joy, my sister from another mister, we also love a good deal. Let me just tell you. Do you know what's so interesting? Joy, you could buy 2 of these for less than what you would have spent for 1 here at HSN. I mean, I'm serious about that. And this is I'm taking the soup with me. Listen, I really am. That is fantastic.
Yeah, but
I'm loving that.
You know why? You know why I know Joy just ordered 2? Because she owns this fantastic new restaurant, right?
Oh,
Gemma.
Yeah, she does.
And I know Chef Sambago wants these blenders for his new kitchen.
Yeah.
It's a spanking new kitchen, but you guys, check out Gemma. It's an unbelievably good restaurant.
It really is. And don't forget, this is an unbelievably good blender. Do not let that price fool you. If you have watched HSN in the past, 2 things that you're probably already aware of. The only blenders that we sell here at this network that we do soup demonstrations in start at around $200 on sale. Okay, so that's number 1. So this is half off anything we've ever done in this category. But number 2, that's not even a fair comparison because this is the only one that has this patent pending blade design. It has what we call SmartCorners with that Tritan BPA-free reservoir.